Good evening, everyone. How are we all doing? It's 9 p.m. here in the UK. It's 10 p.m. most other places in Europe. I am Kekata, your host for tonight and commentator, as you can see from our screen. Drinking a nice rum right now, enjoying my evening. Of course, I'm joined once again by my wonderful friend, Twitter at RokuDoesNothing. How's it going?
Hello. It's Thursday. It's a day. We do stuff.
It's true.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we have some matches. I don't know how to go on about this.
It's okay. You'll learn. All right. The art of the transition into talking what you're talking about. The segue.
That's not about transition. It's about the characters. I can transition fine.
Yeah.
They need to play different characters. That's not my fault.
So we've got an interesting set to start things off here with two characters that are seldom seen here, not only in Europe but in the general kind of landscape of the game. We have bribrisan, who's Europe's premier Uno player, and on the other side we have Ryori, who is kind of Europe's real only remaining Soriz, and has been for quite a while now. So yeah, gonna be an interesting matchup seeing these two play each other. Don't really see them actually engage that often. The pair of them are French, they do often attend the same events, but not often do they enter the same event online and then run into each other. So hey, we have a Ballroom FT10 that was actually booked a couple of weeks in advance. They've been wanting to do this for a little bit.
Yeah, I know so I'm pretty sure they're both going to be attending UFA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, being easier for them than other people as well, being French. And I was looking at the French tournament results, so I saw that they both were into that. So it makes sense. It's quite possible, I guess, that they will run into each other offline as well. So that's a pretty good practice, not just about like matchup, but just regardless, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And it for sure helps to practice for offline with people that are like, geographically close to you, because, delay and stuff. You gotta kind of do whatever you can, I guess, to get some better practice for that. Because unless you actually have people to play with offline, that's the next best thing, right?
For real, yeah. The last event I attended, where both of these two were in attendance, was Mad Gear, back way earlier this year. The pair of them did pretty well. I think that's the last time I played Ryori as well, who actually beat me in a FT10, I think, in the Bubs Soriz matchup, which is notoriously Bubs favored. So yeah, he's been playing pretty well. Bribri has been a bit more active, entering a lot of online brackets, showing up whenever he can to offline events. Most recent offline event was VSF, where he lost to me. To get third place at that event, but it's been grinding regardless. And of course, was at Evo this year as well.
Yep.
So yeah,
and he did pretty well at Evo as well, right?
Yeah, he did. He did do pretty good at Evo, both in base Grand Blue and also Grand Blue Rising. Unfortunately, his early bracket progress in base Grand Blue was halted by a name you might know, Gamera. So
yeah, I remember.
It's a little unfortunate, but yeah, right now his opponent, fellow Frenchie, Ryori, who has started things off with a fantastic JU counter hit conversion. The Dragon Ball button, I'm loving that. Barely ever seen that button.
I have never seen that button before.
So the funky thing about that button is, outside of counter hits, it's not really useful at all, because it pops you upwards, right? And of course you can't. Characters don't have a double jump in this game. They can't cancel their aerial moves into like other jump aerials in most cases. So that button specifically is only really good on counter hits. And yeah, Ryori making the most of that to get this first round here. To bring kind of that back around, Soriz is a character we actually see a little bit less often than Bribri. Than Uno. I guess is our sole Uno player here. How much do you know about the Punchman?
A little bit. So I've played a little bit as Soriz in the random pick tournaments and a little bit of Lunalu, and I know that I don't want to play that character again for a lot of reasons.
Right.
But he does have pretty good pressure when he gets in. That is, I guess as long as you know how to handle with it, it's not that scary. It was he was a character that I was really scared of when I started playing the game, because he just would basically cycle EX specials and block on me, and that was not very fun. Because especially when you're a newer player, you're kind of like, oh, I want to press here.
Yeah. I mean, if you're playing a DP character, his pressure kind of becomes a little bit reaction based.
Yeah.
But yeah, carry on. Sorry.
I also know that he is one of the characters that has the most concrete options after doing a throw. And it is very, like, once you know what those options are as his opponent, he also becomes a little bit less scary because he kind of has to cycle through them. The Dust Loop page for Soriz post-throw options is quite comprehensive, which helped me a lot when I started playing the game, for sure.
Nice.
I also know footsies, you do the supers. Yeah.
That's what he wants, yeah. Can't disagree with that. So yeah, Bribri taking our first game here, kind of while we've been talking. A couple of things I've observed mostly is that these two play each other a lot. You can definitely tell in the way that they're approaching both of each other's defenses. Ryori in particular is pretty aware, although he did get hit by it there, of course. The Fleeting Spark, we saw it quite often from Bribri. In these kind of early game situations, he's more willing to be slightly minus, throw out that L Fleeting Spark, maybe in the H1 sometimes, to see if he can catch people. But Ryori, the first time that situation comes up, do be throwing it, and he's throwing right here as well to push Bribri towards the right hand side of the screen. Gonna catch that H Fleeting Spark. Plenty of damage out of this conversion.
Yeah, that's just really punishable when you're ready for it, right? Because in the CM, just big damage from that. I mean, at the same time, it kind of feels like this is a matchup that should be, pretty favored as well, right? Just as you talked about previously, how Bobs would have a really good matchup. Okay, Uno is not Bobs, doesn't do the same things, but still has that commanding long mid-range that Soriz is really annoyed with.
Oh my god, he did it again!
That's a lot of stacks for the install as well. I feel like
Ryori actually likes using the install quite a lot, so we might be seeing it quite a bit. He's an avid 5U user, so he definitely gets those stacks. And yeah, we're in that SSBA range right now. Try to go for a rush there against the far heavy, but just gets caught out at the start. And the rush clash actually going to end with Bribri advantage. Parries the incoming aerial. Not quite able to take this just yet, but yeah, spends the second rush.
Yeah, very, very weird situation though, because basically about to get chipped. As long as Bribri has the advantage, is very much favored. That's a nice aerial parry.
Yeah, so this is kind of one of the key things about playing against Uno. If you maybe haven't seen this character that often, you want to know a couple of things about him, kind of the baseline. He deals with these like anti-air situations very differently from other characters because he is able to block your grounded normals essentially with Arm the Bastion, his 5U parry. So that's something you need to be aware of, and we're probably going to be seeing it quite a bit here because Ryori's going to want to use his 2H for his anti-airs in as many situations as he can, but we're going to see the far heavy in... Oh, sorry. Caught out a little bit there by the mistake. Not able to quite get the command throw, but install is here regardless. Not many stacks, so we're not going to be seeing a big defense boost, but the damage boost from these extra specials is definitely going to start hurting. If Ryori can actually get in, and just going to clap the Fleeting Spark there right at the end.
Yeah, it just has the awareness that there's a small gap between the install follow-up on the special. So just this is like a bit of the RPS that comes with the install of Soriz, right? That you have all these follow-ups that have these small gaps, but so they become sort of like frame traps. So characters with reversals and parries and whatnot can call them out, but it's very risky, especially at that point, right?
Something that's being called out quite a lot at the moment is Bribri. I don't want to get too much into it because he's actually been pretty diligent so far, but Bribri is he has a very active defense. He likes to not quite be holding back so much. You know, when you got a character that has these different reversal defensive options that not many other characters had. You know, he's got his 5U, he's got Fleeting Spark. Also quite likes to mash on defense quite a lot. Ryori's been calling that out pretty hard at the moment, just with these big delayed buttons, getting plenty of damage out of them. But at the moment, stuck in this right-hand corner. Never mind, out we get.
And this is kind of like the way that you should approach those characters, like with the parries. They'll have this conventional sort of reversals, right? Because a lot of people just end up kind of autopiloting the way that they would do their safe, quote-unquote, offense against those characters, and they end up being blown out. And with the way that Bribri pilots Uno especially, I feel like it's something that a lot of people that are unfamiliar with the way that he plays, or the character, or both those things, end up getting kind of caught out from a lot, from what I've seen from brackets especially, right? So yeah, Ryori understanding that, and also obviously having the personal matchup experience definitely helps him out a lot here.
A lot, yeah. Doing well in the neutral, nice. The 5U follow-up, gonna let him take his turn. The throw as well. That throw is, yeah, really quite a pain, because it really does just leave you right next to Soriz. You can just continue his offense so easily off of it. Nice.
He does a little bit of
the roundhouse bang. No spot dodge on the OD. Ryori is not a player that I think is, super aware about the 2.8 options so much yet. And that's going to be a theme, I think, going into our second set. But right now, never really see Ryori dealing with OD or backshift that much. But here's a nice anti-air. Unfortunately, proximity normal's not going in his favor. Bribri's happy just to hold down back. No chip damage from the OD, gets the anti-air conversion into the round.
Yeah, that's one of the unsung strengths, I feel like, of Uno. He has those like very far advancing specials and normals that in these situations where you're like trying to back off, trying to re-establish your space, or maybe even fuzzy jump, can just get caught out from them very easily. And it's not like he has to try very hard about it, it's just the way that he wants to go on about his offensive defense. So just something that happens very naturally, and you kind of need to be aware of it. Personally, I know that as a fuzzy option enjoyer, get caught out a lot by both far heavy and the spin attack, the spiral spear.
Yeah, they can definitely be options that really just bust these fuzzy options kind of open. Spiral spear in particular, find that quite a lot with. Nice catch there, the frame trap on the edge of the spot dodge, just with the X beat driver.
But right back at it, and yeah.
Mash. Unfortunately, does not quite get the kill. Ryori and OD, not Ryori, Bribri and OD is gonna not take any chip from this, and yeah, he's gonna kill just from the spiral spear with 2-2.
Very unfortunate, because he chooses again the correct option on the offense, but just a tiny bit short of like actually taking the round with it.
It's unfortunate, yeah, in these kinds of situations where you're just not quite clutching out the end of the round extension. But something that is very apparent is Bribri needs to stop doing wake-up buttons. Ryori is consistently meatying, or he is consistently calling out Fleeting Spark. And even when he's trying to call out Fleeting Spark, and Bribri is just taking his turn back with these wake-up buttons, it's not really making the most of the situations that he gets from winning that interaction on the round start on the wake-up. So I just think he needs to hold down back a little bit more. See the wake-up mash here, extends in the beat driver, but he's still in the corner. And then, yeah, nice parry there. We'll jump in just to bring things back to the mid-screen. But things weighted heavily towards Ryori right now. Both players 100 meter. Ryori just a bit more on the health front. Just needs to get in one more time. H-Punch is going to do a bit of the work for him. There's another nice parry just on the anti-air situation. What a reaction from Ryori!
Very good, yeah. Yeah, I was about to say that this kind of started shifting to being more of a Bribri favorite situation, but Ryori is just ready there to get the reversal, turn things around just in a blink of an eye, basically.
Yeah, but that's kind of how it is. Like we were talking earlier about, you know, Ryori is pretty good at these matchups that maybe don't seem Soriz favored, at least in the neutral. Like Uno has these big strong buttons, Bubs has these big strong buttons that Soriz on paper does not want to deal with. But when he's in, he makes the most out of the situations that he's able to put himself in, and that is why he does well in these matchups. Nice.
Great use of the great use of the you know, multi-hitting buttons that on different last frames of the parry. This is something that I kind of learned very early. So when I started playing, and I was like, you know, playing fucking around, ranking whatnot, there was a lot of Soriz players for whatever reason, and I was trying to like figure out whether or not I wanted to play Belial or Siox. And one of the things that I really liked about Siox is that you could basically delay record pressure on parry and just really call that out. Obviously, it wasn't a great idea in reality, but it is a good idea when you have those multi-hitting specials or multi-hitting normals, when you know that the parry is going to be coming, that you can basically call it out with the late frames of those attacks or specials. And it's kind of free. Yes, at the same time, you could be going for the throw, but this is more of I have more options available to me instead of just going for the throw. Sometimes you're gonna mistime it. It could get late tagged, which, yeah, it's something that's favorable for you. Oh, nice spot dodge there. It's favorable, sure, but why not just get everything right? That was a very nice sequence from Bribri. From coast to coast, with the, starting with the aerial parry.
No, yeah, Ryori again calling out his fleeting spark on wake up, pushing Bribri into the corner. He's managing to work his way back into the mid screen just with that block string, and now in a position that Uno is very comfortable with. Even that dash punch, when blocked, kind of brings Soriz back into the, you know, that far media range of Uno's. Yeah, Bribri playing the situation well.
To be fair, this is also one of the reasons that Soriz is one of the more awkward, or like, we could even say weaker characters. Just doesn't really get much mid-screen, does he? I mean, to be fair, he even his corner routes are sort of conditional. You need to have specific cooldowns. You can't just like freeform your corner combos as a lot of other characters can at this point. Yes, Rush kind of helps, but not that much. Or rather, it's not bad, it's just that it's better on other characters. And now it feels like Ryori is kind of taking a note out of Bribri's book, and not in the good way. He was just very active on his defense there, like caught out
here's the
back to back to back.
Right, is Bribri, I was kind of thinking it during then, Bribri not been doing a lot of throwing so far, just kind of assaulting defense with lows and mids, not really wanting to really exchange too much else. And Ryori, yeah, did kind of put himself in some bad situations by just, you know, trying to jump out and then mashing once there at the end. But Ryori can kind of just down back and be fine in a lot of these situations until Bribri is actually showing that he wants to start throwing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to work his way out here, back in the mid-screen. The parry coming out really well for him. The 5U armor, sorry. Bribri is just going to bring him straight back. Unfortunately, not able to get that far medium extension off of that rush conversion, but Soriz is going to be happy with that trade.
Yeah, but even... Oh, that was very nice. Not quite enough to kill, but we're back to, yeah, a very positive situation for Ryori. He's going to close out the round with the throw. And it's again, even though he got that bit of a EX special mid-screen jump scare, it is a little bit sad that he just gets so much less compared to other guys who like could barely get into Oki.
Oh no! Ah, that second close heavy whiffing there is so sad. But yeah, Ryori playing the start of this round incredibly well, just happy to push him in the corner. Nice extension there again with the roundhouse fang. Really, yeah, we've seen it a couple of times, and Bribri called it out once, or I guess reacted probably with parry. But that medium rock smash is a terror. It does so much chip damage, and if you get counter hit by that, the game actually uninstalls itself.
Yeah, you're about to get exploded into outer space. That's a nice rush. Closes out the run up throw rather. One of those things about Soriz in general is how you kind of respond to Rock Smash, right? Because it's both the medium and the heavy version are very plus. I think it's almost +9 on the medium.
Very plus. Yes.
Let me check.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was something.
It's +8.
It's +8.
Right?
Yeah.
But it has a long startup. It's 28 frames of startup. So it's something that, if you're ready for it, it's kind of easy to react to. I know, there's a lot of kind of memes about, just react to this medium special, it's free. But in this case, I'm not gonna say it's free, but it certainly is quite easy because he's next to you, because both the visual and the sound cue for it are very pronounced there. But being willing to take the risk is something that defines a lot of, I feel like, how the Soriz player is going to end up structuring their offense, right? It's more about the willingness for you to be like, I'm going to call it out, which, inevitably, in the first to 10 especially, means that you will be hit by it a couple of times. Your buttons will be off for a couple of frames, you will get counter hits, and you will explode. But at the same time, it can also deter your opponent from choosing that option more often. It can also make it much more awkward for Soriz to structure his offense and block strings, because medium rock smash is kind of the only non-EX special he has that's just like really, I mean, it's advantageous, but the thing is the other ones are also not very safe. Obviously, yes, if spaced, the not run host fang, impact knuckles also can be quite safe. I mean, it's only -3, so, but still, it's a bit awkward when you force Soriz to kind of stop using those options. It can be very awkward for him.
I just want to say, Ryori's kind of just general conversion game has been really on point at the moment. It's definitely showing in this damage here. Nice again. But this time, Bribrisan actually the wake up match successful here. But yeah, that is a sign of player matchup experience. Ryori, I'm gonna keep getting the names marked up. I'm sorry. Bribrisan is a big fan of just doing the empty dash out of spiral spear into the throw or that, and Ryori's just reacting. This is the correct way to do things.
Yeah, and I mean it's a good option because it starts this sort of like RPS game, which is slightly favored, I would say, in Uno's side. So yeah, being ready for that, being aware of that option, being willing to take action against it, does make things much easier for you.
For real. I'm not really sure what that too heavy was there. It's probably a misinput of some sort of special. But gonna get punished for it. We're around a piece here, going into this 8th game.
Yeah, and it's been kind of a close set so far, and I mean, I'm not gonna say that we're not seeing good things, because we definitely are, but it feels like both players are a bit still on this like autopilot-y sort of gameplay still. Yes, there has been a few adaptations here and there, but I don't feel like we've seen a lot of different things. We just see, the back and forth of sort of the same options that sometimes work, sometimes don't, and we have this very back and forth set so far. Which,
I mean, we're halfway through it at this point.
Yeah.
The player's just going to take a second here. We're halfway through, and of course, as you're saying, the adaptation might be kind of the focus, but is there any particular things that you think maybe from Ryori that you'd want to see, kind of maybe about his approach to the neutral, or more stuff that you should kind of be structuring his pressure around? What do you reckon?
I would like to see a little bit more of meter usage, whether this is for more installs or for rushes or even ODs. I would just like to see the meter being used, because he's using a lot of specials, beating a lot of meter, and it just ends up kind of rotting away. Yes, he has had those really nice conversions and really nice reactions with the supers. But in my opinion, that's also just another case in point of he should be using more of his meter, right? Because yeah, I don't think you should be saving that for those moments, because you're not going to get to those moments when you're doing the rush confirms. Which, yeah, I know Soriz is not the greatest rush user out there, unfortunately for him. But I feel like Bribri is much more willing to use his meter once he gets that, whether it is for backshift, whether this is for a rush or for the OD setups and options that you touched upon before. And I feel like that's kind of giving him a little bit of an edge so far, because, as we've said, a lot of these games have been very close, and using those options is definitely going to give you that slight edge that you need to just close out the game, especially when your opponent is not using them, right? Or, I mean, it's not that Ryori is not using them at all, obviously. I would just like to see a little bit more. Like you can see already, he has 70 meter compared to like the 50 meter of Bravery. And it's just one of those things of these characters that have these like very special heavy offense. And neutral as well, right? Because he does use the 2 and 4 in neutral quite a lot, which, you know, you have it, you should be using it. I'm not at all against that. Absolutely a great option.
Yeah, no, I agree with basically all of that. You know, you don't need to be saving your meter for Rising at this point, spending it as much as possible. 100 meter situation. We are actually going to see the install come out here. Spot dodge on the far heavy, but he's got quite a lot of work to do, and yeah, Bribri just going to fleeting spark that extension there.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no right option at this point, right? Like, yes, you have the install, but at this point you just don't have any life to work with. I wasn't sure if he was on chip point or if he was just slightly away from it, but I mean, if not the next special, then the special after that would have done it regardless, right? And Bribri also having the rush available to him at that point was just sort of real at that time. Again, also
these staggered buttons here still on the offense. They're not quite working out well for him right this second, but I still think it's good that he's doing them. Nice jump in here. Not going to get too much for the extension, unfortunately. Still just locked towards this left-hand corner, and that's unfortunate. At the end of the rush, just going to keep him locked there. Spiral Spear going to stop the H punch. Bribri not going to spot dodge this OD, and yeah, this is the chance that Ryori needs. Unfortunately, the Roundhouse Fang not going to connect on the extension there, and Bribri can still play this pretty safe. That parry is not safe. He should not be doing that. He's trying to call out that H dash punch like he's done a couple of times previously, but that's not what he wants to be doing. Ooh. Does that work?
That
sure does not.
It worked. I'm so excited I didn't. I really wanted it to.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, and this is very much where Bribri kind of wants to be, because Uno has this multi-hitting specials that just do a lot of chip damage, and it can get you very close to the chip point, right? Yeah, that was very unfortunate, because honestly, that was just a very nice conversion that just ends up being a bit of a wish confirm at the end with that super, right?
Yeah.
The Sky on R. But also, my mind came back to what you said. I feel like it was either the first or the second game that Ryori is definitely showing a lot of great stuff, but he is showing also that he's a little bit less aware of the 2.8 options compared to Bribri, right? Which makes sense. He hasn't been as active, I feel like, as Bribri has been, at least from when I started playing, which was around the release, I feel like, of 2.8, maybe a little bit after that.
But I mean, in a way, I kind of get what you're saying. But like, also these options have been in the game for nearly a year and a half at this point. Though they've had their tweaks here and there, like the fundamentals of how to deal with them are still vastly the same. And while I'd say that's kind of a semi-weakness of Bribri as well, especially as kind of general over-reliance on backshift in some situations, which, like Saki has been saying, I think Ryori could be dealing and pulling out. Ryori has just not been... Like, we've seen the Bribri is just not respecting overdrive activation. So that's really just like, oh, you have 100 meter, I'm going to keep doing this until you respond, right? And that's not what we're seeing. So he's nearing that 100 meter now, and yeah, third throw is going to get called out just by the wake up reversal super. And the throw here, 100 meter on the side of Ryori, locked in the corner. Just happy to hold down back, which is fair. Rolls past the far heavy, medium rock smash on block.
It just certainly makes sense, right? Like when you're doing something and your opponent is not calling it out, even though it might be more on the unsafe side or on the RPS side, I mean, you're not going to stop doing it unless your opponent shows both the willingness and the ability to deal with that. And this is something that's very much about mentality. I feel like in general that a lot of people try to play correct, but that doesn't really mean anything. Like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this like minus special that's reactable, but my opponent has literally been hit by that every single time.
And that's kind of it. And like, you're completely correct. It all kind of boils down to like, why should you have to put in any more effort than is necessary in order to win the game? Absolutely. And right now, like, Ryori is putting a lot of effort into his offense, and a lot of effort into these situations where he knows he has an advantage, but the situations where he's on the defensive, bribrisan has kind of just been blowing him up a little bit more, because he's not willing to be pressing the things that Bribri has shown that actually he can't deal with. This wake up, close heavy here, gonna catch Bribri's wake up, and yeah, it's gonna be a strong round for him, but this... It's maybe a kind of glass half empty way of looking at it, but that round was a blowout for Ryori because Bribri was making bad decisions on defense, not because Ryori was forcing them.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like going for the close heavy on the as the meaty option there, because I feel like this is probably, I mean, again, my Soriz knowledge very much not on the good side, but I feel like this is probably like a setup that puts you exactly in that position to get that deep, close heavy meaty. So yeah, that's good, because you're at the same time calling out, your opponent, I've just done the setup to know this. So I would like to give him some props for that. But at the same time, it feels like Bribri has kind of figured out a lot of these things that Ryori has been very much keen to do. Ooh, Melody.
That's not what he wanted, though.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And here's another interaction as well, and I think you were about to talk about it as well, is the parries on the anti-airs I mentioned in that first game, but...
No.
Right, that is a start. Unfortunately, did not get what he wanted there. Was not able to get the punish, would have been able to get a far heavy, I think, but spot dodge the OD. That is more effort than bribrisan has been putting into dealing with these mechanics. Mid's install is going to appear, and actually, well, not quite leading to the kill there, Bribri dropping the link. But the mids are here for the time being. 100 meter on the side of Ryori does use that rush. Just got about 50 meter to burn, and yeah, gonna get Fleeting Spark in exchange. It's an unfortunate catch on the back shift, backed into the corner, and then just the chip damage off of the H-dash punch. And yeah, that was definitely a better round. I mean, of course it was a better round because he won the game. But Ryori definitely showing a couple of very quick, sharp improvements on the kind of things we've been talking about. So I can appreciate that.
And absolutely like this back shift that he went for. He is just one special shy of killing there, so he just needs to survive the final two projectiles from the mid install there. So as long as you can do that, you're basically going to win the game, right? You just need to do one special. Bribri was out of the parry cooldown as well, so I really like the fact that he's willing to just say, okay, I'm gonna take this defender option, force my opponent's hand, and there's again. So but also at the same time, I want to say that Bribri's finally willing to call out the rock smash.
Yeah, it was a bit of a potentially risky press. Really could have. I forget if he had the cooldown available. Parry might more have been the safer thing to do there, because if you get counter hit by that, you die.
Yeah.
But I just want to quickly mention, we've been seeing this anti-air situation happen quite often with the parry. Going in for like an anti-air throw is a very legitimate option.
Yeah, and it's kind of like your only option there, right? If you really want to
you can
put the
punish
effort.
the lag. So like
Yes,
you can just
yes,
sit there
absolutely.
and kind of let him jump in, but then you're taking the guess on if he's going to 5u or not, or if you're going to get jumped in on essentially for free. So F4 definitely good there. You get Oki up a bit as well.
Yeah, that's why I said it's not that it's the only option in general, but it's the only real option at this point if you really want to keep the corner. Which, I mean, you probably do. Ooh, big counter hits.
Ooh, God.
Does not get the wall bounce there.
Ryori's pressing. He's scared. And yeah, Ryori going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, he's quite low at this point in the corner against the Endersaw. It's not a good time. If you're not ready to have a specific defensive game plan against that, it's very. It just makes sense that at some point you're gonna try and look at for those gaps, but again, this is a very risk-heavy situation, right?
So knowing how Bribri plays, as I play a character who also has a very, very strong command grab. Some people forget sometimes, but that. Oh no! I bet he tried to do the same thing I tried to do last week. You don't roll that. But yeah, Soriz SSBA. Maybe some people don't know if you're watching, is a command throw when he's in install. And Bribri does not like getting hit by that kind of thing. So he's, always going to be wanting to jump there. And actually, the few opportunities where he was caught there were actually on jumps. Yeah, nice links here actually from Ryori to bring this one to 5-7.
Yeah, drops the original confirm there for the kill, but is ready to get the second one. So that's always nice to see. I mean, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never been scared of any command throws. I've never done universal overhead as a VD option against any of those characters. So I just don't get it. So. So there's another thing that I kind of would like to see a little bit more from Ryori, is that he has been very much willing to do those spot dodges against the several different full screen options of Bribri, whether it is the big driver, whether it is the projectile, the Sparrow Fuel follow-up, right? And he's willing to do it regardless of risk, right? He sometimes will mistime it slightly and get counter hit, and he will keep doing it. He's not like, oh, this is not working, I need to stop doing it. So as long as he's on that mindset, I would like to see a little bit more of rolls to force Bribri's hands.
Holy shit, what a
reaction, yeah. So I would like to see him roll forward a little bit more to kind of just force Bribri's hand to make him a little bit more comfortable in those full screen situations, force him maybe to mix up the timing of those options, or whether or not he's pressing the light, medium, and heavy versions. This is another thing that I also wanted to highlight, is that Ryori has been very good at spot dodging those armor hits, right? Like he does hit the armor, but then he's very much ready to always get the spot dodge there.
So that is something that is reliant on the follow-up actually coming out. Like if Bribri spot dodges there and the follow-up doesn't come out, Bribri is minus in that situation. So really, it's kind of on Ryori to accept that he got the token and then try not to take his turn back from that sometimes. Instead, think around the situation that comes afterwards, which isn't really a situation you want to be put in, but that's kind of how Soriz is sometimes. Roll there not going punished, and Ryori's going to try and bring this back to the mid-screen. The beat drivers are coming out, the 2Ms are coming out. Not much of that overdrive left, none of it left now that he's going to get caught by that. Yeah, very hard to kind of get in again there.
Yeah, and there's this option again with the delayed projectile into the big driver, which is just something that when you're in this situation, Nosy, very low life, is kind of bound to hit you, I feel like.
No, this is big here. Yeah, we're going to see plenty of rock smashes coming out now. That fleeting spark is on cooldown. Nearly back though, but look at the chip damage. Ryori has not had a single opening since like 80% HP. He did all of that in chip. That is how strong that is.
Yeah, and sadly, Soriz sucks in buffing because that should have been a confirm. Like, come on.
Oh, I like the fuzzy mash there from Ryori.
Oh,
we're pretty even on the health front, but he's just got to get in again. EX beat driver spent, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Just he's got to take the space though. He's got to be more proactive in taking the space. Dash punch is going to do it, and then catches the mash and wake up afterwards. Ryori's looking close to tying this one up actually. We're 6-7 currently.
Yeah, he has been getting more aware and has been answering the parry options more effectively. The previous round I feel like was a great show of that, specifically because Bribri has been almost consistently doing the EX parry after getting hit by Rock Smash, which makes sense. My opponent is on plus frames, I want to take an option. This is kind of the option that you're going to choose. But then once you throw that, he doesn't really have anything, right? All he has, I guess, is back shift in the corner, which is not a really good option.
Especially because Uno's got that 30 frame back shift, so very, very punishable. And ooh, dear. Big conversion here for Ryori is going to spend that meter, not quite enough for the kill, but strike for a situation away, and there it is. The OD is going to come out from Bribri before I can even call it out myself. Just something he needs to be aware of again.
And I just want to say I love that corner combo because he's just proving wrong. What I said in the beginning of the set is that Soriz has this sort of like limited corner combo structure, which kind of hinders him a little bit. But Ryori being very much aware of what his character can do and getting this much more free flow sort of corner combo though with a big confirm. Unfortunately, does not manage to close that round though, and now he's on the back foot of this one, getting thrown twice very close to the corner. That's a really nice rush confirm.
Nice.
And you're kind of guessing through game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really nice.
And just as quickly as he did that big damage on the first round, Bribri brings this back very convincingly. Honestly, that was a hell of a round, like just absolute domination.
Yeah, it definitely was. Just need to be careful though, because Ryori is bringing back these games very fast here. 2-game lead at the moment might seem like quite a bit, but actually Ryori has just won 3 in a row before this one. So we'll have to see how this goes. There it is. There's the spot dodge on the 5U follow up again. Ryori looks like the wind taken out of his sails just a little bit, just taking the time just to kind of sit back a bit more in neutral, but Bribri is just taking a whole mile out of that.
Yeah, and there's the back shift again, twice actually, very close to one another.
And yet
the first time works very well.
Oh, actually, no, the wake up option he did there was L Fleeting Spark. I saw that cooldown pop from the easy input, so just a good meaty. There's the command throw.
There it is. And I feel like it's the first time we see this.
It sure is.
Yeah, it is the first time you see this in the sense.
Yeah, where the Fundoshi Fist coming in to secure the round for Ryori, and what was looking like a bit of a struggle for him there at the start, so that's kind of how it is with Soriz. You know, you let him get in, he deals half your health in a single conversion, and then yeah, if that install is there, you may just be taking half more from the reset into command throw, and Ryori is running away with this round, at least until that heavy fleeting spark hit. Now pushed into that right hand corner, the frame trap here, gonna catch, but plus Universal Overhead probably wanted the OD that comes out now.
Yeah, and that was the same setup we saw a few games ago with the, I think it's the medium 2-on-4 into the meaty close heavy from Soriz, which is sometimes, even though you might know those setups, you see those buttons that you don't expect to be plus or you don't expect them to be safe, which kind of eggs you on. I feel like in pressing. I mean,
I'm gonna leave you to talk just for a second. I'm pretty sure chat can hear it as well. The raid outside has just gotten ridiculous. So give me a second. Feel free to carry on.
Yeah. So this is something that I don't know how you feel about it. I definitely one of those people that gets caught a lot without like we're getting hit by those setups from Lancelot, for example, where he does to you, but it's safe. Or with Vera whiffing a throw or whiffing a DP while Lumi's out, and it's safe. And you know that it's safe, but your, Dumble Lizard Brain is like, oh, just whiff throw, I can punish this. And I feel like this is kind of the strength as well of these setups that kind of use this less safe buttons, but in a very safe manner. And a lot of them are auto-timed, which also makes them a little bit stronger.
Super meaty M-Rock smash there. You're not going to see much meatier than that basically across the entire game. Does manage to catch the end of the 5U here, no chance of the follow-up. Yeah, Ryori is approaching this one well, forces the back shift from Bribri. He can be okay with that, only 50% meter. And there's the second one as well. Not really a good use of that meter, I'm going to be completely honest. And yeah, we are even. We're at 8-8 right now. Ryori has brought this all the way back from what was, I believe, a 4-game deficit. So we're moving into the final phase of this set. We've just got a maximum of 4 games to go.
Yeah, and I really just want to see a little bit more of the install gameplay. I feel like every time that he managed to get the install, it has been just so advantageous for him. And it has been very awkward for Bribri to deal with that. So I would love to see a little bit more of that. Yeah, I think it would be just very strong.
The button. Oof, gonna kill off a bit as well. So yeah, to quickly extend on what you're saying with the install, Soriz not a common character, so I kind of want to go through it a little bit. Soriz has Punch the Stars, or the Impact Knuckles, and gets from his 2-1-4, gets 2 additional follow-ups when he's in install. One of them is just an advancing wall bounce, and the other one, the one that we haven't actually seen land so far, Bribri pulled it out the one time it was used, is a Guard Crush. So, can get extensions off of that in the corner, definitely something that needs to be watched out for. But yeah, kind of as you're saying, when that install comes out, Ryori has been making really good use of it. And the install is going to be the thing that gets popped here. Not much help to work with, but does have a slight defense boost. Unfortunately, a defense boost is not going to help you against this SPA here.
But I just really like the fact that Ryori has been willing to mix up a few things here and there. The only thing left that I would really still like to see would be a little bit of a different adaptation in the air and R tier options, but at this point it feels like he is almost consciously just saying, I'm not going to focus on this part of this matchup and just try to utilize the other things that have been working. Which I also think, as long as it's a conscious sort of decision, or if it's a subconscious decision, perhaps, is completely fine. It's not a very good thing to just stretch yourself too thin, trying to have proper answers to everything, right? This is something that I feel like, though, having an option for the backshift would go just such a long way with closing out this for Ryori. Because when you know that your opponent is very much backshift heavy, backshift happy, whatever you want to call it, there are a few options and some safe jump or safe jump like setups that are always going to be, if not punishing, are going to be safe and are going to let you just keep your pressure up instead of giving your opponent this neutral reset, which was exactly what we needed there. Just take a little bit of a breather in the neutral, get back into that spacing that Uno is very comfortable with to bring it back, and now he's on set match.
Yeah, I think kind of looking at how Bribri's approaching these corner situations, he's not really in Soriz's face. He's kind of just happy, just playing it slow, playing the neutral game. But yeah, nice rush here, just the raw rush going to help get him in. But that OD is going to put Ryori in a really quite unfortunate situation. Has to make the most out of this opportunity he's given here.
Okay,
so far he has the OD gone, calls out the fleeting spark just when he needs to.
Oh, no.
Medium rock smash, that parry is on cooldown. Look at the chip damage, but unfortunately right there at the end, the anti-air situation, and the LPS!
It connects!
It does
That's
in fact
crazy.
connect. Ryori just a fraction away from dying there. And
That
yet,
was around.
how the hell did he bring that one back? Calls out the fleeting spark again.
I mean, I want to talk about the thing you said about Bribri's corner plan there, which I found was really good. But there's no time to do that because this is violence.
It absolutely is, yeah.
Ryori does not want to go quietly into the night. Yeah, he's going to fight for that set point of his own.
It really is. Unfortunately, does not quite get the throw here. The back throw incident coming in, and yeah, Bribri's going to take this one. Yep, that back shift in the corner, not advisable here. Not going to be able to get the kill off this interaction, but we are just a strike throw situation away. Ryori down bracking diligently. The mid's install coming out, going to force that raw rush out of him.
It's not confirmed.
Spot dodge on the fire heavy! Not quite enough for the kill! No! And the throw's going to do it. We are at a final game between these two.
Yeah, so now that we have maybe a few seconds, I just want to say that I really like what Bribri was doing there in the corner. Just taking his space, not going close to Soriz, using this sort of like spacing that only Uno is going to be comfortable in this matchup, and just using that to his advantage. And this goes back to the thing that we touched upon previously with don't do more things that you have to, right? Like, why take the risk? Your opponent is low enough that one interaction is basically going to heal anyway, so might as well just use that. But now he's going to switch it up and go back in for two big corner combos.
Playing this really offensively right now. I liked the option there to beat the fuzzy mash. That safe jump there from the Astral Piercer. We're going to see the install come out, running straight into that beat driver though, and we're in a familiar situation, but this time, yeah, Bribri going to put himself on set point.
Yeah, and even though I'm a big install supporter, I don't think install was it there. Like, you kind of need the meter most likely to use OD at this point, because you're just in a very bad spot. You kind of need this comeback mechanic if you're going to bring this ramp back. Unfortunately, not going to be the case, but now, aside from the meter that he just used, not a huge difference here between the two. Is going to press though, and gonna get a counter hit here, Ryori.
Definitely seeing a couple of signs of panic here from Ryori. That double 5U is pretty telling. Bribri just going to confirm into the rush here, but unfortunately drops his conversion. Ryori going to get the punish here. Hits him with a close heavy, but yep, that is counter hit only. But the overdrive comes out now. Install is on the table as well. Bribri with no meter, having used that back shift so many times throughout this round. Ryori is taking him straight to the corner. Wants to push back to the mid-screen just from that block pressure, but Ryori knows he can take it slow. I say as he tries to dash punch his way in.
Ooh! Okay, still have a little bit of the overdrive. So if you're Bribri here and you really want to win, you probably want to hang back a little bit. Okay, he wants to win. There it is.
And unfortunate there, because we actually did see a different option come out there for the anti-air situation on the last interaction of the game. And yeah, bribrisan, after 19 straight games, is going to take this set 10-9. Great set.
Yeah.
Really, really good set.
Exactly what Zavid said on chat. This is an unfortunate way to end the set, but don't make any mistakes. This was a banger. And honestly, man, Thursdays has been banger after banger. 19 games after 19 games. We've been having some really, really nice sets. And I mean, that was also pretty hype. We saw some really cool stuff from both players. Again, there's a few things that, you know, as a spectator, could be, you know, a few options left, a little bit of things to be desired still, but that doesn't matter at all. I feel like here, like we just had a great showing, in my opinion, for both players.
I absolutely agree. We could see kind of the counter adaptations working between the two players all over the place, and yeah, you love to see it in these longer sets. Real big fan.
So, and you know what? Another thing that I really love to see is that every time in Ballroom that we get to this like final game, people want to win. They want to win the set. Sometimes they take these options that are a bit more risky or a bit more nervous induced. And it shows, like, this whole like situation in the corner in the first round started because of a 2H misinput from Ryori. And I like that. It shows that people care about these things, even though there are about the exhibition and about having the longer set and having, you know, the more like analytical stuff commentary. I still like the fact that people take them, you know, actually seriously and want to show the best things they can show.
For real, you know, that's why we're here doing this, and we got a big, nice long set, maximum possible games for these two to look back on for, you know, hopefully some pointers and to reminisce on what has been a real banger of a set. But yeah, with that, we're just going to take a real quick 5-minute break here while we swap over some stuff from production. Just quickly before that, as I'm sure everyone who's watching is aware, but on the off chance you're not, there is a Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising presentation happening at 11 a.m. CEST tomorrow. If you maybe want to watch that and also have it be accompanied by two wonderful smooth British voices and also a wonderful smooth German voice, you can catch us tomorrow at 11 a.m. CEST over on Virum's Twitch channel, where myself, him, and Saki will be restreaming and giving our commentary on the event as it happens. So yeah, I hope you guys join us for that, but for now we're going to be taking a real quick 5-minute break here. I hope you guys will join us back in a couple of minutes, where we have Zavid playing Zoe and Jabak playing my beloved Avatar Belial. So yeah, we'll catch you guys in a moment.
Yep.